Hi, I'm Heather with Refinery Creative, and the garment we're refining today is this satin bridesmaid's dress. I've done a fitting with the client and we've pinned in all the alterations that need to happen, but as you can see, the garment is really wrinkled. When she brought me the dress, she didn't have a garment bag to keep it hanging in, but she wanted to protect the fabric, so she had folded it into a tote bag, and the result is a lot of wrinkles that we want to deal with before we actually start the alteration. That way we get rid of any distortion. So what I'm going to be doing today is showing you some techniques for pressing lightweight polyester satin that can help you deal with this fabric with confidence. So let's get started. To begin ironing the skirt of this garment, I have filled my iron about halfway full with distilled water. I want to use lots of steam anytime I'm trying to get the wrinkles out of polyester. I also want to use a medium setting on my iron, so I have it on the silk setting. And when I begin to work, I'm going to be working from the inside of the garment. So as you can see, I've turned the skirt inside out, and I'm going to start going over it with just really quick motions, quick circular or back and forth motions. And it takes several times, but I don't want to let my iron stay in one place too long, or else this polyester will melt. So even though I'm using lots of steam, I'm going over really quickly. I'm really careful to avoid, you can see where I have pins in it where I've marked where the hem needs to be. So I definitely don't want to iron over those pins. I want to avoid all of that and just keep my iron moving to get started. Okay, so now I'm working on the front of the bodice where we have these pleats that I want to get the wrinkles out, but I also want to make sure that the pleats are lying where they intend to lie. The alteration that we're going to do to the bodice is just to do a small tack on the inside right here to close up this center front so that it's not open and she can move and not have to worry about that front hanging open. So before I can do that, I want to make sure I have all these pleats laying in the right place where they're supposed to. And to do that, I can't work from the inside. I'm going to have to work from the outside. So I'm going to use a press cloth to do that. And a press cloth is just a cloth that you can put between the iron and the fabric, and it protects the fabric as you're ironing. So I've got my hem here. I've got my curve draped over the hem the way it should naturally go. And I'm just going to start at the top here with my press cloth along this seam and just lightly with lots of steam go over it quickly. I may even shoot some extra steam on there to help it. And if I'm worried about touching the iron to it too much or leaving a mark for my iron, I can use my hand as well. It's nice and warm, so it'll still react when I put gentle pressure on it from my hand. So there's some improvement there. Now I want to look at where these pleats want to lie, where they're supposed to be. This one, probably at the manufacturer, got pressed in a different way than what it actually should be, so I'm going to fix that. See this? I'm going to make this nice straight line here where the pleat was intended to go and hold it into place, put my press cloth over it, and then just with the tip of my iron, go over that. Get it with some steam, move on down to the bottom, and then I can use my hand, and that's better. And I'm just gonna keep adjusting the bodice and pressing, adjusting the bodice over the curve of the hem and pressing until I've got the pleats that I want and I don't have any wrinkles that I don't want. So you can see on the left side as we're looking at the dress, I've pressed the bodice and the skirt, and you can see the difference from the left side to the right side. Now the bodice that I'm going to be working with isn't perfect, but at least I've got these pleats going back where they were intended by the pattern to go. so that they'll lay nice and smoothly. We've gotten rid of that distortion that probably happened with packaging and shipping the dress, and everything's laying where it needs to so that I can do an accurate alteration.